WHKY Talk Radio, 1290 AM and 102.3 FM.
Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. And I knew that this happened during the month of May. I just did not remember when. Joining us this morning to bring us up to speed on National Travel and Tourism Week is Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand. She is the CEO of the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau. Always nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, it's great to see you, Hal. I always enjoy being here.
You bring us up to speed on this annually, but it's something that happens day in and day out in our area. Tell us a little bit about travel and tourism and National Travel and Tourism Week, if you would, please, ma'am.
I will do that. So, it kicked off yesterday, May the 19th to the 25th. It's National Travel and Tourism Week. So thank you, WHKY. You always give us a wonderful opportunity to talk about the importance of travel and tourism, and we really appreciate it because this is a special week, not only for us, but everyone across the country. And you have a very good memory about travel and tourism. It moves around some in May. It's usually the first week of May. And remember, years ago, we celebrated all the things there were to do in Catawba County with tourism, the 31 days of May.
I remember something about hot dogs, too. There used to be, was there a hot dog roast, or was there something to do with hot dogs?
Oh, probably so. Who knows? Probably at the Crawdad Stadium or something.
I can't remember, but I remember that.
I do remember that vaguely, yes.
BB was...
BB Leach, yes,
BB
I
Leach,
do remember that.
Something about hot dogs. You had a big hot dog festival or something. You handed out hot dogs.
I do. That's funny. I hadn't thought about that in a long time, but yes. But so travel and tourism is extremely important. It has been important here for many, many years. But this actually week was established in 1983, so not that long ago.
Nope.
Because I believe, people started really knowing, especially celebrating the importance of the U.S. travel community because it is essential in stimulating economic growth, cultivating vibrant communities, creating quality job opportunities, and we'll get to that in just a little bit, and inspiring new businesses and elevating the quality of life for Americans every day. Is that not the truth?
It is the truth.
And then as we, celebrate the industry, the critical work, this week we're really talking about the role in powering our nation's economy, our communities, and the connections. And so that's what we're really going to talk about. But really, my educated guess is that most people, when they think of travel and tourism, so everyone listening, people that we see throughout this week, they really don't realize the importance of travel and tourism within our county and the Hickory Metro itself.
No, you don't think of it that
When you
way.
think of travel and tourism, you're probably thinking of the Grand Canyon, New York City,
Yeah.
Disney World,
Yep,
the coast in North Carolina, but really Catawba County, there is a big economic impact it does make in our area too. And, so this week we're celebrating those people in our community that are in the travel and tourism. There's more than 2,400 people within the county. The latest count, I would guess, when we get our next numbers, it might be closer to 2,500 that are in the tourism industry just in the county itself. And that's
tourism industry.
Yes, that's everyone
Wow.
from working at the hotels,
Okay.
restaurants, the crawdads, Hickory FC, our new soccer club.
Right.
Everything from the Hickory Metro Speedway, which stays active. You think of all the museums, different attractions in our area.
Didn't realize all those people would have been considered in that group. When you think about it, 24 doesn't even sound like a big number. I would have thought more than that.
It probably is when you start going into the restaurants and the more restaurants. But just
Right.
think how all the changes that have happened that are not only wonderful for our community, residents itself, but when people come in to visit, whether they're here for a sporting event, they're here for a concert, they're here for a festival, they're here for a business meeting, you name it. When people are here, they're experiencing our community and they're being greeted by those in the travel and tourism industry.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's really, really important. And, we talk about the importance of the travel industry. Do you remember, I know we've talked about this before, but it's the latest numbers that we do have from 2022, and I really think that our numbers are going to be higher in 2023. But really, Catawba County, $331 million a year spent by visitors in 2022.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, exactly. And you got to think about the employees, the 2,400 employees in our area at that time in that year. Again, I think when we get these new numbers, August, September, we'll share those with you. Of course, our first go-to place to share that information with is WHKY, and
God bless your heart.
we'll let you know how that's really increased. 2023, that calendar year, was a really good year for our hotels, really good year for our restaurants. And if you notice, we got some new restaurants on, that opened that year as well, and they're bringing people to our community.
Right.
So that's really important as well. So, but let's talk about the National Travel and Tourism Week. Then.
Okay.
This is going to be a fun number. You and I like to talk about numbers.
Yep.
So in the U.S., so this was the latest numbers for the U.S. travel. How much money do you think that industry brings to our country?
Nationally?
Nationally.
Oh, no telling.
I know, $2.8 trillion.
Trillion?
That's a T. Trillion.
You don't hear that number. I would have been in the billions somewhere. I would have been like over the.
This is legitimate information. This is data that is solid. So this comes from the U.S. Travel Association. $2.8 trillion industry and 15 million American jobs.
That's a lot of jobs.
That is a lot of jobs. And again, in North Carolina, travel is a $33.3 billion industry, and with almost 217,000 jobs. Hey, and this is another fun fact. So do you know North Carolina is the 5th most visited state in the U.S.?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we're fall behind. Number 1 would be California, Florida.
Number's California.
California,
Okay.
Florida,
Okay.
Texas, New York. Then you got North Carolina.
No way.
Yes.
Well, I'm trying to think who would have beat that, but when you think about it, those are the big ones. I was thinking Florida because of the attractions.
Right.
California, I don't know, but I guess there's a lot of different things. You've got everything from San Diego to Los Angeles all the way up to Anaheim, and you got Disney. So you got all that. New York.
Yes.
And
big state of Texas.
Of course, Texas. Yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah, you got a lot of Austin.
Yeah.
South
So
by
think about that. I
Southwest,
mean, we're number 5.
That's pretty darn good.
And we just, actually, this is a new data also that just came out. We were at the Visit North Carolina conference not too long ago. And then 6 through 10 is kind of interesting. Pennsylvania, 6. Tennessee is 7. Then Georgia, 8. Michigan, 9. And 10 is Ohio.
Can't figure on some of those why they would be most visited. Some automatically come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
But here in North Carolina, because I'm thinking about it, you have a lot of people going to the beach and the beaches. You talk about the Outer Banks, Nags Head, that's big for tourism. But then on the other side of the state, you have the mountains.
Right.
So you have a lot of people visiting the mountains in that area. So that makes sense.
And
It's
then
because you've got those dual areas.
And then you got to think about, we've got RTP, which brings a lot of business travelers to Raleigh, the Raleigh area.
RTP. I say I would not have known
Well,
that.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head now. So,
RTP.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
Raleigh Triad Piedmont. Is that what
yes,
RTP stands for?
That sounds right.
Okay.
And then you got Charlotte.
Charlotte, yeah.
One of the biggest, largest cities as well, too. But when you think about North Carolina, going back and then you go back to Catawba County, 331. So you got $33 billion industry in North Carolina. For Catawba County alone, that's $331.5 million. In the metro alone, it's closer to 600. If you do all 400,
You've got the numbers here. What's the number? Is it restaurant? Is it gas? Is it a hotel? Where's the money?
The money comes from the hotels, gas, restaurant.
So all those, right.
Admissions to
gotcha.
crawdads.
So this is a total number. We're taking a look at the total
County.
number. You put them all
Yes,
together.
yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So really, and I think, like we mentioned before, 2022, we're going to exceed those numbers in 2023. I feel certain because, again, talking to our hotel partners, which, we have in the area, we, have more than probably 20 different hotels, motels in the area. Plus, there's the Airbnbs, and that number has really increased over the past last year in our area. So I do believe that number is going to be higher as well.
People ask me when they come to the area, say, we're going to be coming, and they're hinting that they want to stay with me. I'm like, there's a great Airbnb, or I know somebody in the industry. Let me see what I can do for a hotel for you.
And we got 2 more that are under construction right now.
That's what I understand. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, or is that hush-hush?
Oh, I can tell you more about it, yes.
Come back more First Talk with Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand. She is the CEO of and I want to make sure I get this right, Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau. Lots more to talk about as we kick off the week. With or without hot dogs. I can't remember what I remember hot dogs for something. I can't remember. National Travel and Tourism Week. More after this. Good morning. You're listening to First Talk with Hal Rowe on WHKY Talk Radio for the Greater Hickory Metro. And oh, by the way, Mandy Pitts joins us this morning. She is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau, RTP, Research Triangle Park. We found out during the break. You knew that. You just didn't want to make me look. When I came up with the letters, you were like,
That's
okay,
exactly right.
whatever.
The Raleigh area, but a lot of people travel in North Carolina for so many reasons.
That was
whether
very
it's
kind of you,
business
and I appreciate that.
Wow.
You were like, that's okay, Hal. Yeah, we'll call it that for you this morning. Thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much, Mandy Pitts. But I will admit that I did not know what that was, so thank you very much.
We did. We just have a whole lot of stuff in our brain, and it just didn't pop up right then.
It just didn't pop up at that time, so thank you very much for not making me look bad
Oh,
all the year. But somebody we were talking about this during the break, and I want you to think about this because I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to, in just a minute, tell me a story about our area and about travel and tourism because we've been going over some numbers. But think about that. Put that in the back of your brain because I know we want to talk about who are the people who are involved in travel and tourism in the area. You told us kind of in a general way, but I know there were a couple other things that you want to talk about in that area.
Right. Well, you can put me on the spot first about the story.
So now that's on your brain.
That's
now.
on my brain.
Okay. You want to do that?
I could think of several. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But, when you think about the employees, of course, the hotels. As locals, we're probably not staying in our hotels unless there's some repairs that need to happen in our house or out of electricity. A lot of times. So a lot of people, we may have family that comes into town and they're staying there.
There you go. Yep.
And so really the hotel, they're the front line of the hospitality industry. When they're coming in, they really are. And they're coming in, they're checking in their bags. And that's probably the very first person someone is meeting from our community.
Didn't even think about that. The person at the front desk. You said we got 2 coming. Tell me about those.
We've got 2. That's right. We've got a Home 2 Suites that's going to be sort of behind where the Crown Plaza is.
Okay.
The back of it was torn down, the older part of that hotel, and kind of behind the Hilton Garden Inn. So right in the convention center area.
Gotcha.
There is a Home 2 Suites that's underway. If you drive by, you can see the elevator shafts. They are building that.
Cool.
So that it's under construction. And then also, if you go a block or so over where Bob Evans' restaurant is, that area, there is a Town Place Suites that is under construction there as well.
Great places for my sister to stay when she visits.
That's right, and that's 2. And I think there's going to be a few more down the road if you think about it as we grow and there's a need for more folks, especially the convention center, which we won't. I mean, that's another segment. We'll talk about that in the next month or so when I'm back. But really, that industry, that area is growing. So,
and the great thing is too, these places would not be being built if people weren't coming in.
Exactly.
No one is going to build a hotel for it to sit empty. So
Correct.
that shows that they've done the research, they've done the business plans, they're taking a look at it, and we can see tourism and people visiting our area. That's why they're building these.
And both of those are suite type hotels.
Right.
And you think about our sports tourism in our area and how it's grown. It's been here for decades, but it's really growing now.
Right.
Especially with the different facilities that are under construction.
And you've
other
got
things
coming up, and you're going to have more coming in, so you're going to need more. So this is all good news.
So we do need, and a lot of those families prefer the suite. So we have 2 different hotels, a Marriott and a Hilton, that are being built in the area. So that will be very helpful. And I think some more will come down the line. I don't have any
Your mom and I are going to sleep. You kids get to bed by 10 because we got a big
right.
game tomorrow.
Well, and you got to think when people are here, and we've got the restaurants, of course, our culinary scene, it just continues to grow and to thrive.
Yes, it does.
The breweries, the wineries, the distilleries, and people may travel just to visit those as well. And some people may travel just to want to do a mountain bike riding, whether it's at Mountain Creek Park or I was there yesterday, and there were people with their bicycles, and then I live right near a park in Hickory, and you see people all the time traveling here to be outside. Of course, we've got the River Walk and City Walks. I believe a lot of those attractions are bringing people, and the meetings and conventions. Really, if you think about our staff, we have a small staff, but you're looking ahead that it just really that's sometimes the very first person that people see as well, everybody who works at the convention center as well.
Tell me a story.
Tell you the story. So this is a story talking about, we had a group that, so our staff, she's been on here before, Sarah Jones. She will go out and talk to different groups. And she'll say, hey, we would like you to have your meeting.
Right.
At the Hickory Metro Convention Center. We want you to come explore their area. And then some of the other staff, Amber Howard, they were all on this call together.
Right.
And this lady said, now, why in the world would I come to Hickory? There is nothing to do there. Last time I was there, we brought that group. in the 90s. And she was just going on like, I just don't see us coming there. I don't think
Right.
anybody have a great time. Well, they came, and they had a great time. And all the attendees went out downtown to eat different times, and now they want to come back on a regular basis. That was just off the top of my head thinking of the convention center. So I think people are surprised when they come here and they come visit here, whether it's for a meeting or, people that I know that have a niece who's really big into swimming. So
Right.
when you have different swim meets come in, different people from across the state and beyond come to Hickory to swim in a swim meet with YSST, they are pleasantly surprised. They're downtown.
They go downtown. They see what's going on there. They see the soccer fields. They maybe take a walk on the city walk or river walk. They see all the different things, and maybe they're surprised.
And another surprise is, again, you've got different people coming in for whether they have students at Lenore Ryan or different places like that. And talking about hospitality, so
Well, we got 10 seconds.
10 seconds. So we'd love for anyone who's listening, who's interested in the hospitality industry, to give us a call. Talk to us. There's a hospitality academy coming up at CVCC.
Yes.
And it's a great opportunity to put your foot in the door to learn more about hospitality. And I promise you it's a career that you will love.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
You're
for joining
welcome.
us this morning. Always a pleasure to see you. Mandy Pitts-Hildebrand, she is the CEO of the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau. I want to thank you very much for your time this morning. We're going to go ahead and close the way we normally do, Monday through Thursday, with the greatest song in the world for the greatest nation in the world, our national anthem, brought to you by Shuford Federal Credit Union, where it's all about you. Shuford Federal Credit Union brings us today's national anthem. Thanks so much for joining us on First Talk. We know you have a choice in morning radio. That's why we appreciate you choosing the First Talk radio program. Be grateful for what you got. Make it a great day. We'll talk tomorrow on First Talk with Hal Rowe, right here on WHKY Talk Radio for the greater Hickory Metro.